Hello, I'm Great Zarin. Uh, Fifth video of 30 before 30 challenge. I'm getting tired of introducing myself in these, because my thought is you'd watch all of these start to finish, but whatever, just in case. I am Great Zarin, I am many a thing, including turning 30 years old soon. I'm turning old! I'm turning a round number, so it's good enough time as any to reflect on a substantial chunk of time and determine how well it went and what can be better for the next 5 years. Probably one of the last videos I'll do will be where I want to be in 5 years. That'll probably be video 30 unless I have a better idea. This is past 5 years, which I've touched on bits and pieces of the past 5 years. But this hasn't been, I haven't yet at least had a very consistent through line of talking about how it went. I don't think, at least. So, for me, 5 years ago will be, it'd be the end of 2014. So that means that I had been living in Burlington for a few months by that point with Chris. I'd been at Market America for 8 months, and I was about to become getting pretty close to being the expert of the framework and the automation, because the guy who helped make a lot of it, that started with me 8 months ago, was about to leave. Didn't know it at the time, but he was about to leave, so I was about to be put into a very important position. It was about that point as well that I had started to... It was the first time that I'd been socked in the face that money wasn't infinite, that I actually had to worry about it. Didn't have a credit card because I was an idiot and hadn't lived on my own before. I was starting to just be really annoyed to still be around people, even though I was more than willing to help Chris out. And at that time, I was also still chasing after a love that was probably my honest reason to have lived in Burlington, but I think to a great degree I was probably being a little dishonest with myself, where I kept trying to convince myself that that's not why. That's totally not why. But also secretly wanting to. And it was also an unfortunate thing of being told a reason why there was no point to pursue it, yet being so out of my mind, I just didn't register it. It was maybe just another side effect of how rough college had been for me, where every once in a while people still talk about, yeah, you did this and this, and I just don't remember it at all. Because I probably tried to block out a lot of time, for the best, probably. Not that I have an exact time frame of when it would have been blocked out. It's probably random, honestly, but for the best, a lot probably got blocked out. Alright, so also at that time... At the time, Chris and myself didn't have what ended up being his cat, Angeli, so it was still a petless house. Me and Byron were starting year 2 of GTA Online, and it being 5 years of us playing it non-stop pretty much. Car loan and 2 batches of student loans are still there. I know I'm telling you about an exciting, thrilling life, but it's just trying to think about everything. 5 years ago, I still had a lot to learn about how to be an adult. I still had a lot of stuff I had to deal with. And so came about 9 months after that, so you're talking middle third, getting to the last third of 2015. A little over 4 years ago is when I officially lived by myself. Blush me. About a little over 4 years ago is when I started to officially live by myself 100%. And for the last few months I was living in Burlington. There was Angelia the cat. And it proved to me 100% that I am a cat person. And that cat, I still think to this day, loves me. Every time I'm over there, she's so happy to see me. And probably just friendly in general, but also seems really happy to see me because I fed her every morning before I went to work. Then I lived by myself, 100% no other living creature, by myself for maybe a month and a half before I got contacted by, it may have been Deanna or it may have been Chris, I don't remember which, saying that he had gotten a second cat, Olive, over there, laying on the arm of the love seat. And she was not getting, Olive at the time was Asuna, I think was her name, was not getting along with Angeli. And I was asked, hey, would you like to have her? You wanted a cat, right? Yeah, sure, I'll take a cat, so. That was beginning of November of 2015 was when I got Olive. And ever since I've not lived with other human beings since then, but I've not lived purely alone in over 4 years happily. And with Olive, it's helped me to learn how to probably calm down a bit more. It's taught me to definitely think about another creature. It's given me reason to come home, reason to, actually try to get up some mornings when I need it. And also be a bit better about leaving the house disorganized, because I think I talked in a prior video about how when I first got her, Olive liked to pee on stacks of junk mail I needed to throw out. So that helped. Now I just have junk mail in piles that she can't jump up and pee on, and think now also Olive's just whatever issue she had, she now just goes to the litter box all the time like she's supposed to, thankfully. Over these past 5 years, and probably more so these past 4, more so probably the first 2 or 3 years, probably 2 years, and also into the last 2 as well, learning a lot more about how to be an adult. And a lot of stuff is stuff that's just not really hard to figure out. I did start actually making a bit more of a budget by writing it down in a spiral notebook. Now it's in a bunch of spreadsheets, so I can have it update numbers on the fly and show me certain numbers immediately, like, okay, well, how much do I have left over, and if I put this percentage to this or to that, then how much of that can go somewhere. I have 2 credit cards now, and they've expanded my credit limit a few times because I keep paying off everything on time and haven't had a late payment. But now I need to learn to get those under control a little bit more than I've been failing to do the past few years. But I've got a plan to get that under control, thankfully. Also, in this past year, I've paid off the smaller of my student loan payments and my car loan. So now the last is the big chunk of my student loans, which all plans I have it being paid off within 2 years, if not less. It seems like it might be even more or less than that, because I think I'm overestimating how much the interest is, because it's like different groups. Each one has different. I'm not going to go figure out, well, it's this percentage on this one, and this one. No, just, I think I kind of was like, it looks like it's about 37 hundredths of a percent, so we'll just do that. I think that's more than it actually is. overall, but whatever. It's paid off sooner, even better. In 5 years, I've moved twice, because I moved from Burlington to first apartment here, and then I've moved to this apartment. I've bought and then sold a washer and dryer because I didn't pay attention to this apartment I was moving into had a washer and dryer connection because I was being dumb. I've started and failed. Well, I've started and stopped, I should say, trying to do a YouTube streaming thing because whatever the reason is, I've had it try and fail with several different ideas. I even had a good news channel I wanted to do, and I just fell off the wagon on that because whatever the reason was. I'll blame work, because that's another big change. In the past year, I switched jobs finally and got away from a manager that was an asshole and an abusive one at that. The first lunch that a bunch of us that were working there and used to work there had, somebody had said, if you look at an abusive relationship and how that asshole managed, and you overlaid them, they overlay perfectly. We all nodded like, yeah, no argument, yeah, worked about right. Very manipulative, very much probably good at guilt tripping, and also more than willing to trash talk us after we've left. And his team keeps churning and having a lot of turnover. Meanwhile, I'm at a job that I love. Because exactly what I probably need is to not be super important. To just, for a while, just be left just to do stuff. And not be my responsibility to figure out everything. It's just do what I'm asked to do, which is revamp some scripts, which is, I'm cool with that for now. I won't want to do that forever. I won't do it for the next 5 years probably, but you know what? I'm cool with it for now. I don't think I've truly cut my hair really well, more than maybe once or twice, just to make it a bit shorter over the past 5 years, though, and I've maybe shaved all of this really well a few times, but for the most part, it's either just been growing or just trimming it up a little bit. And I've tried to be a bit better about just maintaining all of this. I'm not perfect at it, but I am not as depressed about it, because what I've figured out, it's probably over the past 5 years for sure, is this, with its attitude of me saying, well, I don't care about it, is the good kind of like, I don't care what people think of me, I like how it looks. And then also the, well, how do I care if I look like I just walked out of a cave, man? So I've had both extremes for it. And I've toyed with shaving off part of this and doing something completely different with all of this. I just haven't done it for whatever reason. Probably honestly everybody would comment on it, which is expected, but I really don't want that, which is probably the reason why I've enjoyed living by myself for so long, is I can just try something, nobody question me, nobody to immediately cut me off from it, because if it works, it works. And there's nobody to try to stop me. And if it's a horrible idea, then I figure out that, oh, this is a horrible idea, I shouldn't do it again, and I know it won't work. So thank you to all the people that have tried to stop me from making stupid decisions over the years, but I probably also would have been better off making said stupid decision. So I've also been able to grow a bit more comfortable for the most part over the past 5 years, not always getting something done. I've been getting a lot better about letting myself just relax and not worry about getting a whole lot done. Yeah, I could probably go to the grocery store and do laundry in one day, and I've done that before, but it's also fine if I just take my time. It's fine if I'm not up immediately. It's fine if I just kind of meander around a little bit. And I'm still going to find a balance, because there still is stuff I should probably do and stuff that is going to bug me later if I don't do it now. So it's still a bit of a struggle to have me do everything I need and some more things that would be for the betterment of my quality of life. while also not burning myself out to where I go do it and it's undone and maybe even worse, like in a month or something. So I'm getting better about all of that. I've also tried to be better about going out and doing some more fun things. Especially now that I've given my parents a key to my apartment. If I do want to do something to take me out of town for a few days, I won't do what I did a few times with Olive, where I just gave her extra food and made really sure she had water and didn't leave for more than maybe 2 or 3 days. But I don't remember exactly when it was. I think it was when I took Mom and Alex up to Ohio and I dropped Olive off at my parents' house that I realized that I could, and it flipped a switch I don't think I needed to know, that I could ask them to take care of Olive if necessary. I even had one kind of emergency thing. I had to get her over there kind of in a pinch because they told me the day prior, yeah, so we're gonna take out your windows and you keep your pets tied up or whatever. I'm like, you're telling me this the day before you're taking out the windows. I was fortunate I can just, hey, yeah, can you watch Olive for a day or two? They're replacing my windows and they're gonna take them out. It might be one day, might be two, I don't know. Same thing when they recently said, yeah, we're going to just shut down laundry facilities with no warning to you. It's like, thankfully I have parents have a working washer and dryer I can use. And that was my Monday evening a few weeks back, was doing all my laundry, but I got to see my parents and my brother, so that's the worst thing to happen, that's the worst thing to happen, whatever, Still frustrating. I think I've been fairly comfortable being by myself, and again, I really needed to be. And I did fall into a thing of I had to get online every night to play with Byron. But I've grown to be more okay with me not getting online every night. And not just because I'm watching wrestling, but just because I just didn't want to get on. And just doing my own thing. Which led to maybe us not getting stuff done in a game as soon as we would have liked. But it's let me just watch whatever, do whatever. And it's nice. It's nice for me to be able to feel like I can finally, in a healthy way, be by myself and also try to avoid burning out on playing with Byron, which I probably have a few times, but never to a point where I'd be yelling and screaming and not want to. Just, it's good for me to have me time, which I've always needed, I've always known I've needed, but it's good to be able to have a more healthy way of doing it, As I've been going out doing stuff, I'm trying my best to go out to shows in Charlotte, in Raleigh, in Fayetteville. I went to AEW Dynamite a few weeks back, and a few weeks before that I went to WWE's Night Clash of Champions, which I thought was a decent show. Everybody else thought it was average. I thought it was good to me because I was having fun talking to people. I'm going to go to Fayetteville, North Carolina for SmackDown this Friday, and in mid-January I'm going to go to SmackDown here in Greensboro. And I'm just going to enjoy what I enjoy. I still love to bring somebody along, because I don't live near the people that I'd like to hang out with all the time. There's more people that I should really talk to, and I don't. And those people aren't going to watch this, or if they do, it's going to be a really long time from now, but I apologize, I haven't tried to talk to you more. I just suck at communicating. But in the past 5 years, I've learned better how to hang out with people and to be more okay with trying to make plans, have them fall through. I have my few times that I'm probably going to see people. I'm going to most likely, a lot of major holidays, I'm going to go see family, around Christmas time. It's going to be at least three people I'm going to see, which is Byron, Bree, Travis. I'm going to see Chris, Deanna, that whole gang, and I'm going to see my parents for Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. And at some point, I might add a fourth trip around that time. And I might, at some point, just add another thing I do throughout the year. Maybe, shoot, I don't know. Because it'd be a weird thing if I'd want to point, like, President's Day or Memorial Day or Labor Day, but I've got a feeling AEW would run pay-per-views on those weekends. So that kind of ties that up. But maybe just pick another weekend throughout the year and just say, you know what, I'm going to just take a day off in this month, and it's going to be my weekend to go off and go do whatever else. Maybe I just go to the mountains or the beach or just some random place for a weekend. I tell my parents, hey, I'm going to be out of town this weekend for whatever. Can you come by, check on Olive? Yeah, sure, okay, I have, honestly, some points, and I know I'm jumping all over the place, and thank you for watching this far if you have. I will say that one thing that it's taken me a long time to get okay with is not being in a relationship with someone. And it's still something I really do want, but I do feel like I'm not sure exactly when that crossover would be. It's probably been, the latest was probably a few months back is when I finally started to get comfortable with, okay, I am living my life, and when that is to happen, it'll happen. I've done my very best to not try to make me going out to a wrestling show or whatever all about that. If I don't get that, then it was an abject failure. Just to try to enjoy, Night of Champions, to enjoy AEW Dynamite, to enjoy the SmackDowns I'm going to go to enjoy. I feel like I went to something else. Maybe it was a live NXT show in Concord. I think that was another one I went to recently in all of that, I believe. I don't remember when it was. I got there a little late and stood the whole time, which was fine. I didn't care. It was still fun to go and watch the matches and be entertained and all that. But yes, it's something that I don't want to be alone forever. I do want to eventually, have family, have kids, all that. I want that, be married, have kids. But I'm doing a lot better to actually have something to contribute to it. When I go over the 5-year plan near the end of this 30 video challenge, I'll try to lay out more of what that looks like. Partially because it just seems like a good way to tie it all up. But also, I kind of don't know what that might look like. It might include finally getting a developer's job. It might include actually trying to do something with streaming or YouTube or writing or, I don't know, drawing or dance. I have no clue what it would be. But I'll try to have an answer by video 30. Because I kind of would need one by video 30, because that'll be the end of the 30 video challenge. I guess trying to wrap this all up, I have grown a lot since 25. I have dealt with some massive demons since 25. Some were from college and the aftermath of it, the year following it, and some were created by Market America. I have been able to prove to myself 100 times over in some ways that I can do it. I'm going to be okay. Aside from a few times where I forgot to pay my power bill, and one time where I inadvertently underpaid for the internet rent bundle I have. and maybe the occasional time I was late on a car payment by a day or two, I've paid all my bills on time. And again, I've paid off 2 massive loans. And a third one is under 2 years of being paid off. And even with me helping Chris, which it's something that I've done for the majority of these past 5 years. I've had no problem with it because he needs it and I know he's trying. There was a short window of time where he had a job that I helped him find, and then he wanted to transfer the role that was at Friendly here in Greensboro, Friendly Shopping Center, over to the place in Burlington, and then the place in Burlington screwed him over by not giving him hours. So it's a setback. It happens, whatever. I've grown a lot in 5 years. I've started recently to get a little bit better about trying to cook and bake and all that, do something more in the kitchen than just put in microwave for 2 minutes and then hope it doesn't turn out awful. I've been able to learn to be a bit more patient, thankfully. I've learned to try to do little things to better my life and try to just have a better tomorrow. I am still very happy with where I am. Immensely happy. Yeah, there's things I wish I did differently or gotten to sooner or whatever, but even with those things, even with some of the things that I still need to take care of, I've grown a lot. And I am much more of a grown-up than I was 5 years ago. And I'm a better human being, I would imagine, than I was 5 years ago. Again, I'm just better off than where I was 5 years ago. And it'll be interesting, and I'm hoping very fun for me to plan the next 5 years of where do I want to be then, because again, I've got the major things out of the way, and I'm going to have a major thing, student loans, done with. So that's going to be money freed up to do other stuff. And I'm hopefully going to be able to go out and just be better. But that's for the next video. This video is already really long. I apologize it was so long, but if you watched to the end, thank you. Again, all the social media, YouTube stuff of following and subscribing and liking all of that. And I'll see you for the 6th video tomorrow, which is probably going to be the gaming crate, because it's a Monday and I'm going to have something to watch then. Monday Night Raw, in fact matter. So, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.